blue sky. First time in 5 days and no rain. I'm happy about that. I hope you are too. But look, we're live as we usually are on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Entredot and me, Bill Warner, as your brilliant host, whatever I bring to the table. But look, I want to start with that we're going to talk about in this program about marketing and sales, as I said in my intro video this morning. On Friday, we published the marketing video for the first time. And yesterday, Monday, we published a sales one. So I thought we'd put these both together and do a recap of what we talked about in those videos and answer some of your questions that I've already got from you and more that you can add here to this broadcast. But I'd also like you to consider to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Entredot YouTube channel. And in there, on the page that you'll be taken to is our playlist, which has this Entrepreneurship in Action playlist right at the top, and about 8 others that cover all sorts of different subjects. So this is all much nicer organized than I've had it prior to 3 weeks ago when I got it organized this way. So I invite you to subscribe, take a look at what we got. I'm sure if you're a startup entrepreneur, or if you're one that's already started and you're growing, or maybe this is your second or third or fourth company and you're a really seasoned entrepreneur, there's something for any one of you. So subscribe now to the Entredot YouTube channel, and you'll get notices of our live videos coming on, as you will if you join us also on our Entredot Facebook page or the Bill Warner Facebook page. There's also ways I'm going to find you. So please join us. Let's get in on this subject. I'm blathering on here. So I'm going to do the two subjects and recap and add further perspective of this. But on marketing, which was the video on Friday, what this all comes down to, pretty straightforward, is the basis for your marketing plan came from your market research that you did leading up to you creating a plan for your business and launching it. Or if you're in your second, third, fourth, or ninth year of your business, your operating plan, which has been updated, hopefully, with new market research. Boy, I hope you did that this year. Now that we're going to live through with COVID for quite a while now through the rest of this year. And there's a lot of new technology that people have accelerated their use of during most of last year and have learned that, wait, this stuff's pretty good. This Zoom thing, God, why do we really need to be in an office? Why we can do therapy online if we're not touching people. Well, and on and on and on. People are learning lots of stuff about how to do things online and many, many other new tools and existing tools that people are, quite frankly, we're forced to use. So it starts with your research and keep it going. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the basis for your entire business. It's kind of important you're current on the market. And within that, you want to be very current on the wants and needs of your buyers, the people that buy your stuff. Whether you're in a B2B situation or a B2C situation, you need to know these things. So I call it understanding the preferences of your buyers. Others call it the personas of your buyers, or call them personas. That's a fancy marketing term. What you want to know is, what does it take to get them to sign on the bottom line in a sales contract or buy your solution or product online? What does it take for them to do it? Where do they find about information about these kinds of products? So you want to know what channels they reach out over. Are they Facebook people, LinkedIn people, whatever? What does it take to get them to make a decision? What's the process they go through? Are they using outside sources for further information on new products and services? What is their market? And on and on and on. All you can know about your potential buyer is where you want to get narrowly focused. That's why you learn all this stuff. So you're not chasing a market that's bigger than 14 barns. You only want one barn. One. That's plenty. Get really good at it and go on to barn number 2 if you want, but not yet. So know your buyer, and the group of buyers makes up your market. Pretty simple, huh? I didn't quite say it that way in the video, so I'm saying it a different way now to make the point. Now, I just used the word channel, and one of the questions I got, of course, what the heck do you mean by a channel? Is this TV you're talking about, or is this a supply chain thing, supply channel? What are you talking about? And I actually try to refer to marketing channels. Not many people say it that way, so I'm sorry. But it's the let me give you some examples. I can only call it a channel. I was looking for another word there. It's a channel. It's Facebook is a channel. YouTube is a channel. LinkedIn is a channel. Twitter is a channel. Email is a channel. A referral network is a channel. There are lots of ways to get to this buyer, your potential customer, that I just got through talking about. One of the things you want to know about these personas is, how do they get information? Are they LinkedIn people, Facebook people, whatever? And those are the channels over which you send your marketing messaging. Pretty simple, huh? It's not just anybody. If you talk to a marketing person who says, I can get you out there on Twitter and LinkedIn and others, and I know how to do it. Well, that's interesting, but what they should be asking you instead is, what are the channels that we need to go out on to reach your customers? If your marketing professional doesn't ask you that question, you might want to think about getting another one, because they're just trying to sell you some stuff that may or may not work. Go with the ones that want to know why it's the right one and then make it work. So there's a little secret for you. And when you're out there looking for marketing executives in your own company, and when you're looking for marketing help as subcontractors. Okay. Of course, in the B2C world, the channel is pretty short. You're doing marketing, creating a whole lot of awareness and sending them to a page where they select a version or release or the one of 4 products that you told them about. They click on it, read about it, get the specs on it, understand the price, willing to pay, put it in the cart and buy it. This is a sales process that's pretty quick. It is very sophisticated though in marketing and support, however, which was the subject of a future video. But look, I usually talk about 3 steps of marketing: awareness, evaluation, and qualification. And I'm really hammering in on the B2B world here. This process that I'm about to talk to you happens within less than an hour in the B2C world. Awareness in your marketing campaigns is you're simply reaching out over the right channels to create awareness of people that might be interested in your products and or services. Awareness, awareness, awareness. And supporting that is not only a call to action, what you want them to do next, but it's pretty clear. You make pretty clear to them that they should go to your website to learn much more about your products and your services and your company and who we are, because that's where they're going to go next anyway. So you might as well invite them. But your call to action is contact us probably, and to set up a conversation with a marketing person or person in a marketing role. It could be really the salesperson in smaller companies that can talk to them and help them understand a lot more about what you offer and answer their questions. The second step of marketing is evaluations. Once you have created this awareness and they're thinking about taking your call to action, they're going to check you out. This is where they're going to go to your website. They're going to go to your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile. They're going to read all about it. They're going to do Google on your name of your company, and find out what the press is talking to you about, and see your own advertising. They're going to check you out. And this is a pass-fail kind of thing. This evaluation step is they're deciding, do I want to take this call to action or not? And if it all looks good, you passed, and they're going to take your call to action. If you didn't pass, that's the last you'll ever hear of them. In fact, you haven't heard anything from them yet. But they'll take your call to action, and you'll set up a session with them, a Zoom meeting probably, to carry out this qualification step. And what I mean by qualification is you're not selling yet, you're determining, are they qualified to buy? And you ask them certain questions about them after getting to know them, a little casual talk. But this whole thing doesn't take but 10 minutes, 15 tops. Don't let it take longer. You can figure out whether a prospect is qualified or not in 15 minutes or less. But you're going to find out, do they have the need that you can fulfill? And is it an urgent need? So you're going to ask them, do you need this now? And you determined, have they taken a look at what you have to offer? Are they bona fidely interested in learning more because they think this might be the right fit for them? They might say something, well, you're one of three for sure. I want to know more about this. And you want to know the urgency, as I just said, is this something you want now, or is this something you're planning for the future? And you want to hear now. If it's not now, you're going to do something else and say, well, let's get back together 6 months from now when you're closer to being ready. We can talk about more about this then. So you go through these qualification questions. The final one is, and when you, only if they're qualified up to this point, you say, well, is this something you have in your budget? And you're capable of paying for this product? You're going to get the question, well, how much is it? And you give them a range. It could be this to this, and it's pretty wide. And they're going to say, oh, okay, or wow, I didn't realize it was going to be that much. Whatever they say, if they don't have the money to pay for it, you don't want to spend any ounce of a salesperson's time on working on a prospect that's not qualified. You want to keep them on your radar screen. You want to follow up later, but not spend, you're not going to arrange a sales meeting. And finally, in all of this, branding and portraying the brand image of your company, and coupled with this vision and mission, those kinds of things. Have your tagline, have consistency in color, consistency in the look and feel of the website, going over it, any other form of communication, things you're doing on Zoom, logos that you present, like I have it in the right-hand corner of this picture. That's our logo. So that's marketing. And that's kind of the net of what we talked about then. The next is sales. That's the video yesterday. And you realize now you're working with a qualified lead in the B2B world. B2C is still the same. They put it in the cart and buy it. But once you call up or contact or respond to the call to action that they made, you set up a time you can talk to them. And usually it's going to be a Zoom call. Or you're actually going to take the risk and have a sales meeting at their location. But however you do it, you're working with a qualified lead. It's worthy of a salesperson's time to go the next step and have a sales meeting. But look, what are you really doing though? You're having a sales meeting for sure, but what is underlying that? And what's underlying that is you're establishing a relationship with the principal of this company that is going to be your buyer. You don't know this person very well yet. You want to get to know them. I've done a whole video series on sales excellence, and one of them is talking about exactly this kind of thing, and I believe I called it the first sales call or the sales call. And I went through the whole scenario and blathered on for many minutes on how to conduct a sales call, and in so doing, start establishing a trusting relationship between the two parties. And there's lots of give and take and lots of techniques that you can use to establish a relationship. It's this relationship that's going to carry you through this sales process, not just your really powerful and brilliant solution. They have to trust you. Business is conducted between people, not a people and a thing. So put your people hat on, establish a relationship, and that's what's going to ultimately spell a winning relationship that you're going to have with this potential customer. But in all of that, the sales department, the sales team has to have a plan. Every year they put together a sales plan, and I have a video on that separately as well, putting together the operating plan of a company. But in that plan, you recount what your market is and all that sort of stuff, kind of like what I talked about just a few minutes ago about marketing. But you establish and reestablish, I guess, because that's what we're all doing, and we did most of last year, and we're going to continue to do, your sales process. How does it work? Step by step by step by step, along a timeline you'll call a sales cycle, sales cycle timeline. You'll also establish new objectives, and this is expressed in terms of number of customers, number of leads I need in order to make my number of customers that I need to have, and assuming an average selling price, I need to have some number of customers month by month. And you establish a sales plan expressed in number of customers and revenue, assuming an average selling price of some kind. And you have a plan for engagement with customers and how you do it. And enough on that. You need a sales plan. It's written down. It's communicated to your sales team and to others that are going to be participating in the sales process. Often engineering, software or hardware engineering is involved with technical support. Often marketing person comes back in just to stay in tune, and maybe other people in your company as well. You don't send armies to customer calls anymore. It's 2 or 3. But in this sales call, in your sales process, when you're meeting with this customer, the first thing you're going to do is reiterate, restate, and make sure you're totally in tune with their needs and how your solution addresses those needs. That's the heart of the sales meeting. So you're going to show them and explain to them in the sales meeting in a little bit more detail than you had in your brief phone call when you qualified them, a lot about how this solution will address their needs. And you can verify it. And you're listening and listening and listening to their questions. You're also listening with your eyes to see how they're reacting. Listen, listen, listen. Listen with empathy. Listen with an open mind. Listen with some compassion in your voice. And letting them know you get it. And when this meeting is over, you want to hear them say, or hear of them having said, these people really understand our needs. You want them to react that way. And if you have, and you've got through the sales process and they say, I'd like to know more, you then offer to make a proposal, which you'll do in a matter of days. That cites all of what you're going to deliver, when you're going to deliver it, what the price is, how it's going to be paid over time, and on and on. You present a formal proposal and you sign it. Because you want them to sign and say, I agree with this proposal. They're probably not going to quite happen that way, but you're trying to reach closure. Closure, which is all about having gone through a negotiation. And in previous videos, I talked about this art of negotiation. It's a back and forth. It's the steps you take to reach agreement on your proposal. You have developed in your own mind what I'm willing to give on, and the point at which I will not go beyond your walk away point. But the whole idea is to, at the end of the negotiation, back and forth, and it's got to be paired. You're giving something, they're giving something in return, and vice versa. At the end, a contract is signed. You present them a formal sales contract with all the legal mumbo jumbo added to it, and you got a deal. Hooray! You're going to make your quota now, at least one more step towards it. Now, during the course of all of this, pardon me, I failed to flip to the next scene here. I've just gone through most of these, but you heard me with looking at a marketing slide. Sorry about that. So the thing that also goes on is all sorts of backroom stuff that's supporting the sales activity. You're using some form of customer relationship management tool that you make sure that you're keeping track of all these marketing campaigns and their progress, and you're automating follow-up and all sorts of things that CRMs do. Have one, really. If you got more than 3 customers, you're going to forget what you said to customer 1 by the time you talk to customer 4. Know what's going on. There's all sorts of collateral material that you need to have. Presentations, demos, white papers, case studies, all sorts of online information, hopefully done in video form. You're also going to keep track of, am I making my sales plan that I just got through talking about at the beginning of this? So in both number of customers and revenue, so you track the metrics of your progress in sales. You probably also have metrics for number of leads I need and how's the pipeline looking, all sorts of pipeline measurements. You can go Google this anywhere you want and you'll get a potpourri of metrics you should be following. Pick the ones that are right for your business. And I'll close with, training is a big deal to salespeople, and they appreciate being thought of by the executives of a company to offer them some amount of sales training. So you may be a brand new salesperson and you really like this, and that your skills are going to be upgraded accordingly. You've shown that you care about them, even the experienced ones. So pick the right sales programs. There's plenty of them. If you need to know 1 or 2, I'd be glad to give you a couple of thoughts on that. Just let me know. So that's sales. I spend most of my time on marketing, but look, when you got marketing and sales really humming along, so you're creating, it will have created the most effective marketing and sales plans. You must do that, and then execute them with excellence. Do really well at this. Have the right people do it. Create your objectives, measure your results, and keep on going. You want to know month by month how you're doing against this plan you put in place in the first place. So with that thought, I'm open for your questions, and we have a few. So one of them was, what's a channel? You said it before me, and it actually came up here. I've had this question before, and I explained it. It's the means through which you deliver your marketing messages, including non-digital or non-social media. Email campaigns are in vogue. Don't kiss off email marketing at all. Referral marketing for lots of services business is the primary way to reach new customers. So you're going to be nurturing a referral network of people that you encourage to give you leads to potential customers. And there's a way to do that. There's a way not to do that. And we talk about that in other videos that we've done on the playlists about marketing. So those are examples of channels. There's lots of them. The key here is pick the right ones that reach your customers. That's it. And another question that just came up here is, well, what about the B2C world? Maybe you didn't hear me earlier. B2C is mainly a marketing challenge. You've got to do the same kind of awareness programs and have the capability to pass muster when they check you out, the evaluation step of marketing, because they're going to check you out just like a B2C kind of customer does as well. So you got to look sharp, sound sharp. But in the B2C world, you've got to have a lot of online information that helps them decide things and answers questions for them readily. And I would urge you, don't put yourself in the position of taking phone calls or answering or putting people in chat rooms and answering questions that way, or calling you on the phone or send you an email. That's going to take a lot of people's time. Put information on your website or in a special support page or two, probably more than two, but a bunch, where you have answers to their questions already, Q&A, online Q&A. You have online videos that cover installation, talks about your products and services, done by somebody reputable and is good on camera in your company. So lots and lots of video content. That's the new norm, by the way, for customer service, customer support. So the B2C world, it's a big challenge. You got to do this really well to get people to buy something from you without talking to you. If they have to talk to you, it's going to take somebody's time to answer their question. If you got enough of those, you're going to be buried in dozens of people, paying dozens of people to simply answer questions and give them these people information that you should have given them already and guided it to them easily. So another person is asking about, well, what's the art of negotiation or something to that effect? You know, I got through saying that when you first meet your customer, you're building a relationship. A relationship's built on trust. You must establish that first to get them to buy and to respect you during a negotiation. Once you've presented a proposal, you probably have had at least 3 or 4 conversations with the principal of the company before you've presented the proposal. They've gotten to know you. The fact that you've got this far probably says they have some level of trust in you. But during the course of building this relationship, you do things that show that you're a trusting person and that you're also trustworthy. You do what you say you're going to do. If you've built trust, the negotiation is going to be rather frank, to the point, trusting that you'll understand what they say and you trust what they're saying as to how serious they are. You will always run into the shyster kind of customers that are trying to take advantage of you. You'll sense that and you'll handle it. If you want to make a deal, you may decide to heck with them. I just don't want to do business with a person like that. But those people that you trust, you show it. And if you're honestly negotiating, that is, you're giving and you're taking back and forth, you're listening, you're responding to their concerns, they're listening to you and hopefully compromising on your needs as well. So this is a back and forth. It is something that's practiced. I kind of call it an art form. So become a good negotiator. But it really comes down to human interaction based on trust. Someone picked up on my comment on, well, tell me now, what is the best sales training? Well, I'm not going to give you a ranking 1 to 10, but Sandler has a reputation of having some of the best sales programs. And I keep hearing that name when I talk to salespeople. Have you taken the Sandler courses? Or they'll just tell me, I ask them, well, how did you learn how to be a salesman? Well, I started with Sandler. I hear that a lot. So I suggest you look into it. There are others. But if you start with Sandler, then compare others to them and see where you come out. Final question is, do I really need a contract? Well, the answer is yes. Why? Because you want no confusion as to what you agreed to. The contract spells out what you're obligated to, what they're obligated to. There's no confusion on what the price is, when they have to pay, how much they have to pay at each instance of payment, and 9 other things that lawyers are going to help put in there for you to protect confidentiality, solicitation, force majeure. That's a test for you. What the heck does that mean? That if the world comes to an end, that's what that means. The world as you know it anyway. So have contracts. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind, and it should be none in yours. Hey, look, I've enjoyed, we've taken 31 minutes here. That's one of my longer ones, but I covered 2 big subjects. I hope it was helpful. Again, I'm Bill Warner with Entradot. And as you're really knocking it out of the park on marketing and sales, you're going to have a good day too.